Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Dragon Speed Shop. Today, well, we're gonna make a frame for this silly little truck. I'm gonna take you kind of step by step on how I built the frame for this truck and also build it with you. So let's begin here. First thing I did is I grabbed me some graph paper and I laid me out a design. Kind of walk you through this. I started out, I put the cab and traced the cab down so we can. So I traced, like I said, the shape of the cab, the little cow pieces in the grill to give me what I needed to start off with. That's this center section underneath the cab here. These little squiggly lines running down here are the frame rails underneath the hood and cab mounts and transmission mounts. I haven't got motor mounts in yet because I haven't quite got that exact. So off of these measurements, I came down here. I took the cab again. Let me re-grab this. Basically kind of stuck it here. Figured out the dimensions on how wide or how long this section of the rail has got to be to clear underneath the cab, looking at his pictures where he's got his notches and everything like that. So that's what I've done here. I've traced this out. This will be the notch for the rear end. This is where the motor sits, right here in this spot. So put this back down. That's about where the motor's going to sit, sitting there. Let's see if I can adjust this. Sorry, guys. So transmission mount, everything. So what we're going to build is this front part of the frame all the way back to here. The front part of the frame, I've got to get the angles right. I do. We probably will get to that today. So this is what I've done. Laid out the pieces here. So I've got that piece. This piece sits on top. Oh, wrong one. Then this piece here. Long straight one. Another channeled piece up. And then this back piece. That's what our frame is going to look like. So now that I have this all cut out, the easiest thing I need to do is actually cut these pieces again, the exact same dimensions of what these are. Once you have the first one, it's pretty easy if you just take your stock and lay it on top and get it exactly where it needs to be. So like that. And I just take a pencil. That'll give me that mark. Make sure I'm still lined up. And then this 45 there. So we'll get all these cut and we'll start putting this frame together, and I'll be right back. Alright, guys, we're back. So this is all dry, nice and secure. So let's continue building this. So that's what's going to happen next. Is the back half of this frame is going to go on both sides, and then the center cross member will go on. So slide this off to the side. We'll grab these little pieces. That is the back half of the little frame. You'll notice that it's a little higher on this point. We're just going to sand that down. Make it level with the frame piece. Kind of hold and press these together for a couple seconds and they'll hold. Alright, so we can untape this now. Don't ever knock that over. That's never fun. So, I'll slide this out of the way for a second. Slide this up. So this cross member, it's pretty close to what my marks are. It's like one block off. So what we can actually do is we can put the frame where it goes here. Whoopsie, don't press. We can put the frame here, and if we just slightly rotate this up, right there, right, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to see my directions here. We could actually put this cross member in where the motor is going to be, so we can kind of show that here. Put the cab where it's supposed to go, and then motor will go in here. So what we can do is just kind of roughly mark. So now we know where that cross member is going to fit. So we can take the frame, let's transfer that mark over. And if you really wanted, you could probably put this in the truck, put your motor where it's going to be. So we're pretty good there. I'm happy with that. Where'd that piece go? There it is. Make sure we have the right piece here. And so the frame's nice and flat. We can put that in right there. What do I do with my brush? Put this piece in this way. There it is. So we just want to make sure this is sitting upright. So there we go. Put it on the frame. Make sure that's sitting perfectly up and down. Okay. Now we can take this other part of the frame, flip this around, flip this around. Alrighty, now we're getting somewhere. It's starting to look like a frame. Tack that. A little bit down there. There we go. So we can just run a little bit across here, weld these, kind of melt this together. Slide this back over. Sorry. Grab my wood piece. Alright, so next thing we need to do, we need to make sure these two frames are parallel with each other. Why this stuff is still a little wet. We can kind of tweak this frame, make sure we're still sitting where we should be by the end. Alright, we're looking good. Frame sitting straight. Hold these. Alrighty. We're still sitting nice and level. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing glued up and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. So we got everything cut. Both sides of the frame rails are ready to go. The 3 cross members that go here, here, and here are ready to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually start gluing this frame together. I know a lot of people out there use Tamiya Thin for their glue. This is what I use. I really enjoy it thoroughly. So the way I do this is I've got an extra piece of wood here. So we're going to, this frame rail is going to sit here like this and like this with these 2 cross members here. What we're going to glue together, these front ones, they're on a slight angle, so we'll have to do that once I kind of have a floor made and stuff like that I can match the angles of what's going on. So what we're gonna do, kind of clean these up a little bit. Since we cut these on a little miter box and stuff, they're a little rough. Oops, grab the wrong one. So we're just gonna kind of clean these edges. Get down here where I can show you. Get all these little extra, little kind of burrs off. Make sure they're all ready to go. So you just got to make sure we get these angles right here. They're pointing the right direction, so when everything goes together, everything will line up nice and how it's supposed to, and won't have any issues. So what I'm going to do is actually just kind of tape this flat. Kind of tape it down so it doesn't move on me. We will get ready to do some gluing. Let's readjust you guys a little bit here. Then I know doing this, awesome, that my 45s and everything in this frame is going to be nice and straight, true, everything like that. Because you know, if one of these pieces get out of line, then the whole entire frame is going to be out of whack. We don't want that, do we? So I'm going to pull up a picture real quick. Okay. So this other one, it's going to be about right there. Doing this on wood, I can glue this stuff, you know, basically right to the wood. Let me go down just a little. If I need be. And still be able to kind of pop this off. And really all I'm doing right now is just kind of tacking all this together. I'll go back with this glue and melt everything, you know, really good here in a minute. Just want to get stuff in place on where it's supposed to kind of be. I guess just like welding a real car, you're kind of tacking everything together, make sure everything's nice and square, everything's where it should be. For me, I'm not afraid to use a bunch of this stuff, knowing that everything's going to be right. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry for a second here. We'll attach this other side. I have to break into my new bottle. Oh, see what I've done there? I've got that the wrong way. Alrighty, that's better. So we know this is straight. So we're just going to move this frame around a little. This frame section around a little. Make sure everything's lining up like it should. Everything's nice and square. Then we can move on to the next little section. So I need to let this dry so everything will stay in its place where it should. And then I will be back here in a second. Alrighty guys, well, here we go. What do you guys think so far? I think we're getting there. I did notice I need to cut down the length here, and I kind of knew that this has got to be cut down probably to about here, but we'll find out exactly when we actually build this rear end for this truck. We'll find out where we need to cut that, but yeah, everything's looking really good. We've got enough clearance. Let's put the frame where it should be. We've got enough clearance up here for all the belts and pulleys and everything up front. We've still got to put in the pieces underneath the hood, the front frame rails, but we will get to that when we actually build the front suspension. So hope you guys enjoyed this video for the week, and until next time, this is Dragon Speed Shop. I'm signing out.